Hello, Dr. Rivera. We're super excited to go over and share our first proof of concept with you. Um, I know Alex had already spent a little bit going over the game and sort of the mechanics within the game. But here we're going to go over a little bit of some of the art portion and a little bit of what we have so far for the game in terms of assets and things that we've created. Of course, things are always subject to change, depending on feedback from you, which we always find very, very helpful. And we also take feedback from our quality assurance team to just make sure everything looks good and is polished and is ready to go for the actual release of the game. For starters, we're going to go ahead and start with the game concept overview. The Missouri River Restorer game strives to educate and inform players about the needs of the Missouri River. Um, we're going to specifically make sure that it emphasizes things that don't belong, such as trash and invasive species. And the target audience for this game is intended to be middle schoolers. So that includes things, children between the ages of around 10 to 13. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over the UI section. For this section, we have just a few examples of various UI that we've created for the game already. Um, for example, we have this main menu scene here, and we have a pause menu scene here. Um, all of these have a hand-drawn look that is created by our art team. And for our water quality, we really want there to be a difference for students to be able to recognize how good the water quality is and really be able to understand uh, what a healthy environment looks like. And next, I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the characters. I know one of the big things that was specifically mentioned by you and the team is that you would like students to be able to relate to the characters that they play as. And this is why we went ahead and designed our character in a way to be androgynous and to really be in a way where students can relate to them no matter what sex or gender they are, which I think is really important for a game that's supposed to help teach kids and get them involved. Another one too that you had specifically mentioned was an addition of skin tone, so characters or players could change their skin tone, and that just provides more accessibility and more relatability for students to relate to the character they play as. And as for our scientist here, we wanted to really make him sort of like this jolly, happy character, which is why we've designed him in a way to be sort of like plump and he really looks like he's there to teach and really help students learn. In this next section, we're going to be covering the various fauna and flora within the game ecosystem. Here we just have a few examples of the 3D models that have been created by our team. And we noticed a concern on your end about the models not being as realistic to their real life counterparts. So we've taken the liberty to, and along with the creation of these models, to have real life images for students to refer to as well. And that'll just help them recognize the various plants and animals within the game and also within their own ecosystem. And also in the journal as well, like I had mentioned earlier, we plan on having the 3D models inside of the notebook as well that allow students to refer to really easily the 3D model counterpart compared to its actual version. And moving on to level design, here's just a simple scene that we've created so far. I know in the client pitch document, a lot of your feedback was greatly appreciated. One of the things that you had mentioned specifically was Frontier Park as a location. It was a place that students would be exploring on a field trip. So we wanted to take that into account when designing the level for this scene. Of course, there will probably be some fantasy aspects to the level design itself, but we plan on keeping it remotely similar to Frontier Park and its surrounding area. As you can see, the level and how it matches up with the Google Maps rendition of it. You can see a lot of similarities from the jutting out here and jutting out in different places, and this little circle place for the statue that we plan on adding later in the development cycle in process. And here we have just a few examples of the various trash items that we plan on having within the game. These trash models were created by someone on our modeling team. Um, and so these are really just trash. They're supposed to be obstacles for the player to pick up and to be able to dispose of. Um, and here we just have a few examples of things that you would commonly see um, littered throughout either like a park setting or near the river. And we plan on adding details later that will include various facts about trash and how harmful it is to the ecosystem and what students can really do to help pick up and clean up their ecosystem and make it a better place. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of the audio. Our audio is going to be, we're going to have quite a variety of different noises. A lot of that being your generic stuff, such as like walking on leaves, splashing water, things you would normally hear within the environment just by being in there. We feel like this would help with the immersion of the game and help keep students engaged with the game. One of the things I specifically wanted to highlight, though, was that we plan on including animal noises, animal sounds. And we believe this would be helpful and impactful because it allows students to recognize sounds in the game and be able to transfer that information into recognizing them in real life. As for our last section, we're going to be going over the developmental roadmap. Just sort of like a where do we go from here kind of thing. Um, of course, as soon as we hear back from you, we always appreciate your feedback to help improve our game. We also have game testers to help us improve the game as well. So we will be taking feedback from both you and them to help improve the game before its final release. Um, we also plan on importing a lot of the art and audio that I had mentioned earlier into the game, replacing a lot of the temporary assets that you might have seen during the proof of concept playtest. We are also going to be sort of rehauling the UI and replacing a lot of the older, outdated stuff with the new stuff that we had listed in this slideshow. One of the things that we really wanted to primarily focus on after all of this is the guidebook integration. How is it going to work within the game? Um, we're going to be focusing on allowing students to be able to open it whenever they choose and just to be able to learn more about the environment and ecosystem. Um, from there, we're going to be focusing on the NPC and player interactions in how they might interact with various animation and in different aspects in the game world. Then, after all of that, we're going to make some final adjustments to the camera settings if they need be. Um, I know sometimes it can be a little bit finicky sometimes, but and then we'll be ready for a final release. Of course, with all things considered, this is just a proof of concept, so things are always able to change. And we always appreciate any feedback that you may have regarding the project and anything to just help us improve the product for you. And so that's about our proof of concept for the game, and we look forward to hearing back from you soon.